Okay, I hereby call the Police Oversight Commission to order on Thursday, May 14th, 2026 at 5:08 p.m. Madam Secretary, please conduct roll call.
Commissioner Goronsky, Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Perea,
Here.
Commissioner Said, Commissioner Vega,
Present.
Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton, Chair Carpenter.
Here.
Record shows we have 4 members present with Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Said, and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton absent. Chair Carpenter, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. If able, will you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. All righty. Public comments. Next we have the public comment section. This is the time for commission to receive comments from the public. We will not accept any additional requests for speaker cards once we begin the public comment session. If you have not already, please submit your request to the recording secretary. Speakers will have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Secretary, do we have any public speakers?
No in-person speakers at this time. We do have 1 speaker on Zoom.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, Manuel, go ahead.
Oh, yes. My name is Manuel Arguin, and I'm requesting service from Deputy Chief Roland Andrade because I need to make a formal complaint against Commander Jorge Lopez and Sergeant Kim in IA because ever since they took over for Commander Gonzalez, which he had opened an inquiry in December of 2023, ever since he left and Commander Lopez has been working on my complaint the whole year. I never heard from him until 5 days after the year was up. And then I never got a chance to speak with him again. And this is why I'm trying to make this complaint like this, because if I try to send it into them, they've just been hiding it like they have been doing to me for the last 2 years. But Deputy Chief Andrade, I got to speak with him 3 times in May of 2025, and he was able to get me my copies from Commander Lopez that I wasn't able to get. But when I did receive them, they weren't all there. So policy and procedure was not followed on my complaint. So I want to reopen that. And I'm sure that he understands and knows the frustration that I've been going through just trying to get this across, even coming to these meetings. And that's all I wanted to do today. So thank you for your time and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Chair, that concludes our public speakers.
Thank you. Next is the consent calendar. Items 1 and 2. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, roll call.
A motion by Commissioner Vega, seconded by Commissioner Perea, to approve item 1 and 2 of the consent calendar. Commissioner Goronsky? Commissioner Perea?
Yes.
Commissioner Vega?
Yes.
And Chair Carpenter?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, no nays. Motion carries with Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Said, and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton absent.
Thank you. That brings the end of the consent calendar. Now we'll recess this portion of the meeting to consider items number 3 listed on the business calendar at 5:13 PM. I hereby reconvene the Police Oversight Commission to order at 6:45 PM. Assistant City Attorney, do you have anything to report out of the closed session?
There's nothing to report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the business calendar. Items number 4 pertains to the recommendation to the SAPD policy number 707, military equipment. May we have a staff report, please?
Police Oversight Director Jack Morse will provide you with a presentation.
There we go. Okay. Try that again. Good evening, Commissioners. Are you ready? Okay. Good to see you again tonight. I am going to talk to you a little bit about SAPD Policy 707, which is the Department's military equipment policy, and I'm going to talk through some recommended revisions with you tonight. If I can turn this on. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, so a little bit of background about how we got here. So as you may recall, in March at the commission meeting, there was a presentation by SAPD regarding military equipment policy 707. That presentation and the revised policy presented at that time included updates to the policy regarding the unmanned aerial systems, UAS, or drones. At that time, at that meeting, commissioners had an opportunity to provide feedback on the policy. I subsequently reviewed that policy. I compared it with relevant government code, that's code section 77, 7070, 7071, and 7072. And I compared it with other policies at other departments to ascertain standard practices in regards to military equipment. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. All right, so a little bit of a background in terms of relevant state law that governs the military equipment policy. So Government Code 7070 defines, okay, thanks. Government Code 7770 defines military equipment. It includes a list of the various types of equipment that has been deemed military equipment, various weapons and so forth. And it includes requirements for the military equipment policy. So I looked at the government code to ensure that the requirements to be included in a military equipment policy were actually included in the policy. Government Code 7071 requires SAPD to get the City Council's approval to use military equipment, and the City Council uses that policy to help inform that decision. Code 7071 requires that the military equipment and the related policy meet certain requirements. So again, I was reviewing the policy to ensure that those requirements were met. Then finally, Government Code 7072 requires the department to issue an annual military equipment report, and it states the specific requirements that must be included in that report regarding use, cost, etc., regarding military equipment. So in terms of changes made to the draft version of 707. The current version clarifies requirements regarding the military equipment report. It says it must include information so that City Council can determine that the military equipment is necessary because there's no reasonable alternative that can achieve the same objective of officer and civilian safety. Says the military equipment will be cost effective compared to available alternatives that can achieve the same objective of officer and civilian safety. Prior military equipment used complies with the military equipment use policy, and the policy will safeguard the public's welfare, safety, civil rights, and civil liberties. These are determinations or findings that City Council has to make. The government code says that this information must be included in that annual military equipment report. The policy now makes clear that that information will in fact be included in that annual report. Additional language regarding legal and procedural rules. So the government code requires that the policy clarify what are the applicable policies, state law, et cetera. So I worked with the police department to ensure that for each piece of military equipment, the policy states what is the applicable federal law, state law, and applicable SAPD policies. So for example, policy 707 cites to the use of force policy, control devices policy, First Amendment assemblies, 40 millimeter launcher procedure, etc. Those are the policies that dictate how this equipment is used. 707 is really just an inventory of all that equipment, then to ascertain the procedural rules for how it may be deployed in the field, you go to these other policies. The government code requires that the policy address compliance measures and how complaints should be addressed. So new language was added to comply with this section of the government code. The policy now makes clear that the chief of police has authority to ensure compliance with policy 707. The government code requires that the policy state which oversight entities have authority, so that language has been added. It says that the Police Oversight Commission and the Police Oversight Director provide oversight of SAPD. The policy now specifies how complaints may be submitted, and it addresses timeframes within which complaints must be addressed, and it cites to relevant policies, including policy 1010, which governs how administrative investigations unfold. With all of the omitted changes now present in the policy, the policy does now comply with Government Code Section 77 through 77D2 and with standard practices. So in terms of next steps, during the meeting tonight, you commissioners will vote on whether to approve this revised policy. If you vote to approve it, it then goes to the city manager for an internal review with SAPD, legal counsel, and the city will meet and confer with the POA as needed. The city manager then has 30 days to respond. That can be extended by another 30 days. And if the commission is dissatisfied with the city manager's response, they may submit the policy to city council. Questions?
Thank you. We'll go 5 minutes. I think one round should do it. Commissioner Gronsky? Okay. All right, we can come back. Commissioner Vega?
I don't have any questions either.
Commissioner Syed?
I just wanted clarification. Are we looking at the text of the?
The revision.
Okay, I had a question on two things. If you look at where it says, I guess 707.3, go to the bottom of that page, and there's a number 4 where it says prior military equipment uses complied, and then it goes on. I'm not sure I understand corrective action has been taken to remedy non-conforming uses and ensure future compliance. I didn't understand that. And then the last page, I guess it starts off with 707.11. I didn't understand this section either, maybe because it's been a long day, but I didn't understand it.
Sorry, Commissioner, let me take your questions one at a time. So the first provision you said was in 707.3?
707.3, yeah, and then all the way at the bottom of the page, it starts off number 4, prior military equipment.
Okay.
The part of the sentence I don't fully understand is, or if prior uses did not comply with the accompanying military equipment use policy, corrective action has been taken. What does that portion mean?
So this is the list of things that the military equipment annual report is required to address. So one thing, and this is to enable the city council to make these determinations. So one thing that the city council has to decide is whether prior use of military equipment complied with the military use policy. If yes, then they're good. If not, then they have to determine that corrective action was taken if use did not comply with the policy.
And that's by code that determination is made?
So the government code requires city council to make this determination.
I see.
So the annual report, so this is saying that the annual report will include sufficient information so that the city council can make that determination.
Understood, thank you. And then the second one was the 707.11 compliance. Sorry, 707.11 compliance, the second to last. I didn't quite understand this one, or I guess, what is it applying to, just this policy?
So, ask that again, sorry?
Is this portion just applicable to the military use policy?
Yeah, so government code, I think it's 77D, requires that the military equipment policy specify how complaints may be filed, how they may be addressed, who has authority to ensure compliance with the policy. So this section is intended to satisfy the requirements of 70D. So it specifies that the chief has authority to oversee compliance. The Police Oversight Commission and the Police Oversight Director have oversight authority. And it goes on to explain how complaints will be addressed.
Understood, thank you. So it's just specific to this portion?
It's specific to policy 70, to policy 707.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Pereira?
Thank you, Chair Carpenter. And thank you, Director Morse. There's good amount of changes that I'm really glad to see on the policy. I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you put into it and some of the feedback that we had. Did you get to see, by any chance, the letter that Commissioner Mejia sent to you in regards to her feedback to the comments on the policy changes?
The letter?
I believe she sent a letter to you.
I received an email.
An email, email letter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so I guess I will support a lot of the incorporation of that feedback that Commissioner Mejia has raised. Specifically, I do agree, for folks that are not familiar, and her email is on social media, so that's why I can reference it. Is in 7.707.3 military equipment coordinator, when preparing the annual military equipment report for submission for the chief of police, blah, 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 so that a commission can determine the following, right? If the military equipment is necessary because there is no reasonable alternative, that's important. The proposed military equipment use policy will safeguard the public's welfare, that's very important. And the specific point, the equipment is reasonably cost-effective compared to available alternatives that can achieve the same objective of officer and civilian safety. One of the main issues that Commissioner Mejia is raising is that just because it's the most most cost-effective equipment doesn't mean that it is the less harmful.
Could you tell me what section that was
Oh,
again?
yes, I'm looking
It's
at-
take a little while to find it in here.
Page 2. I'm looking at the non-red line version. Page 2, 707.3 F, and then the sub bullet points F 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. So. Mhm. And so one of the things that Commissioner Mejia had raised is that alongside in preparing the annual report to essentially for whether or not the equipment that has been used can determine the different purposes or justifications of it, one of the suggestions is that alongside in F3, which determines the equipment is reasonably cost-effective compared to available alternatives, if we can add something there along the lines that the equipment is reasonably cost-effective and helps with harm reduction compared to available alternatives that can achieve the same objective. The main concern revolves around the use of military equipment when it's used to disperse public demonstrations. And so one of the concerns that I do share with Commissioner Mejia is that the use of military-grade equipment, specifically less than lethal equipment, doesn't mean that it's not harmful. And so I'm wondering if we can also increase the standard of at least for the reporting, and how we assessing how things are assessed on the annual military equipment report, is that it's not just that the weapons being used are just cost effective, but whether or not also they're effective in reducing harm in situations like that. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
So the language that you're citing here in 707.3F, 1, 2, 3, and 4, this language is taken verbatim from Government Code Section 7071E2 and 7072. So this is what the law requires the city council to determine. So I understand the concern. Oh, well, our priority should not be whether or not the equipment is cost effective. I do get that. I think that concern is addressed here in policy, which reflects the government code. Not only must the city council determine that the equipment is cost effective, but it also must determine that the military equipment is necessary because there are no reasonable alternative that can achieve the same objective of officer and civilian safety. And the proposed military equipment will safeguard the public's welfare, safety, civil rights, and civil liberties. And then throughout the policy cites too, as we discussed, those policies that dictate how less lethal weapons may be used, policies on First Amendment assemblies, control devices. The parameters within which those weapons may be used lives in those policies, which are currently under review by myself and the commission. So to the extent that the commission is interested in further dictating how those weapons or devices may be used, I would recommend making the changes in those policies and keep this version of this policy, which accurately reflects exactly what the government code states.
Got it. Yes, and I know that there's those revisions that are going to be, or those reviews that are going to be done to the specific different policies in regards to the equipment. But I'm wondering, because in the report is going to be an important public-facing document, but also just a document to us to assess, right, whether or not the use of the military equipment that the police department has has been reasonable, has been in compliance, has been cost effective, and all that. But I'm wondering if we can be a little bit more explicit. I guess if it's legally possible to even do that, because I know this is verbatim from the government code, but to also be more intentional in mentioning more like our interest is not just the cost effectiveness of it, it's a values, right, statement about we also want to make sure that it has been cost effective and we are considering things that are less harmful when it comes to how they are used when it comes to particularly public demonstrations. So that's the main thing. But I do understand the point of like what we can do more when it comes to the individual policies.
Right. My perspective is, in my opinion, that concern is addressed because it does require the city council to find that the military equipment will safeguard the public's welfare, safety, civil rights, and civil liberties. And as a reminder, anytime a less lethal weapon or any use of force is used, that use of force is reviewed by a supervisor to ensure that it is within policy and within the law.
Okay, I understand. Okay. The other question that I have regarding this is more of a, I don't want to like delay the too much of the process, but wait, we're in questions right now, right? So we're not in comments yet.
Yeah, if we could restrain it to questions right now.
Okay, I'll set my.
Do you have the rest of Mejia's comments?
Maybe that could be forward. Yeah, I do have them, but I think so. Those were some of the main ones that were being presented. I can save for my next round if you want.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That was it for you for right now? Yeah, I only have, it's more a question. The governing body is named here is the city council, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And our role is limited to, could you give me a quick?
In the policy in itself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this policy needs to be approved by our city council. And what you would do tonight, if you were interested, is recommend these changes to our city manager.
No, I understand that, but then here, unfortunately, I can't find the page right now, but our role is defined in this policy is limited to what?
Oh,
No,
okay, that's the last section.
So this policy doesn't limit the commission's role. Government code requires that the policy state which entity has oversight authority. So that's what this policy does. It states that the Police Oversight Commission and the Police Oversight Director has oversight authority.
Again, our oversight is limited to suggestions, city manager, city council. Final decision, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again, Chair.
Our role is limited to suggesting edits, and then a city manager, city council, final say, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Gronsky? Commissioner Vega? Commissioner Syed? Commissioner Pereira?
I do have general comments, and I'm wondering what's the appetite from the commission to engage other legal, civil liberties organizations, kind of like what we did with the study process, with the U-Visa certification process. We invited in legal experts and community organizations that were experts on the particular issue we were discussing to get some meaningful feedback and input. I think within the commission, we are doing our best, obviously in reviewing, providing some of the, I think we already have a lot of substantial feedback that we gave you from more perspective, but I will actually appreciate and value if we can engage, for example, the American Civil Liberty Unions. Like we can search out there very credible, trustworthy organizations that can give us some meaningful feedback and best practices as it relates to the military equipment use. I believe we have done this for the U-Visa process. I think we set a good precedent, and given that this is a very important issue the committee members have raised, I would like to explore the idea of a work study session with other organizations that can give us that, and then go back and see where do we miss. But those are my comments. I'm not sure that I leave that to the director and attorney's office if what that could look like procedurally.
I believe you'd have to make a motion for that, correct? If that's the intent, that you wanted external agencies to come speak on this?
Yes, I just don't know procedurally. I can't remember like what that looks
Well,
like.
I think it's a little late in the game because this is getting ready to go to the city manager as we speak. We're voting on this draft tonight. So I think we're a little late in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So there's two avenues that you can take. One is you review what's in front of you today, make some, any adjustments through amendments if needed, and pass it on to the city manager for his approval. That would give us sufficient time to then take it to city council before the annual report is due, right, to the state. So we can push this one through the way it is now, and then if you'd like to second something on the motion where we still bring it back after the fact, just for presentations, and then decide whether it's even, whether there's even an interest to change what we've done, then we could move that way. So we can move two ways.
That's good, because I just remember that there is a deadline to submit to the state. So I think that that's something I will consider, like, moving forward this as it is with the changes that Director Morse has made, and then actually move the other option, which is engage other organizations.
This is going to the city manager, then coming back to us before council, correct? Yes, that's what you said in the beginning. If we don't agree with
Yes,
the
it goes to the city.
So it's not going to the council right away.
It goes to the city manager.
Correct.
And he will
Coming back
accept
to
your
us.
changes or let you know what changes he is accepting, and then he will move that forward to city council, but you will get a response on that, whether he accepted some of the changes, partial changes.
Well, in response on the acceptance or denial of certain things, because you have to go to the POA and all these other organizations, correct? And then it comes back to us again
It's my
to
understanding.
accept or not?
It's my understanding, Chair, that if you vote to move this to the city manager's office, then the city manager will approve the policy as currently drafted or approve a different version of it. If you're dissatisfied with the city manager's decision, then you can elevate it to the city, to the city council. But if the city manager approves it as is and you're satisfied, no need for you to elevate it to the city council.
And the reason I asked that, to Commissioner Pereira's point, that it would be kind of a moot point to request Civil Liberties Union or someone like that to come and give us presentation on it after it's already been gone to the council and approved.
This is an annual review, and we will have to take it to city council by June, at least through the PD and through the city manager side. So we will need something to take to them. We can take something that you've preliminarily approved, like as here's our recommendations. So we can take those recommendations, and then remember, this has to happen again next year. So then what you would be working for is implementing or making any needed changes to the policy for the following year after you've received input. And again, if you believe that you do need that input from other organizations.
And
That's,
go ahead.
Granted,
I would make a motion to approve it as is right now.
I'll second that.
great. I guess a roll call?
A motion by Commissioner Said, seconded by Commissioner Vega to approve item 4 of the business calendar. Commissioner Goronsky?
I do.
Commissioner Pereira?
Yes.
Commissioner Said?
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Vega?
Yes.
Chair Carpenter?
Yes.
Okay, there is 5 ayes, no nays, with, motion carries with a absence from Commissioner Mejia and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton. Absent.
All righty, thank you. Next on the agenda here is complaint data presentation. Do we have a presentation by staff?
All right, Commissioners, I'm back for my second presentation tonight. This one on a review of 2024 complaints filed with the Police Oversight Commission. This was before my tenure. So back in 2024, we obviously didn't have the current process in place. You didn't have an oversight director to analyze and assess these complaints. So the commission asked just for an audit regarding how many complaints were filed and into what categories they fell. So just as a reminder, in terms of oversight, Police Oversight Commission authority, there are 10 categories of complaints that you have authority to direct me to investigate. Those are officer-involved shootings, in custody deaths, use of force resulting in great bodily injury, dishonesty, discrimination, sexual assault, unlawful arrest and search, excessive force, failure to intervene regarding the use of excessive force, unlawful interference with First Amendment activities, and just as a reminder, any complaint must be filed within 1 year of the alleged incident. So I'll walk through some numbers with you, and I'll compare the numbers from 2024 to those in 2025 and thus far in 2026. So in 2024, there were a total of 45 complaints filed. These include 16 that fell within the Commission's authority, 27 fell outside of the Commission's authority, and 2 were regarding agencies other than the Santa Ana Police Department. In 2025, there were a total of 36 complaints filed. 9 of those were within the Commission's authority, 15 were outside of the Commission's authority, 11 were regarding other agencies, and there was 1 complaint where it was not clear which officers were complained about or which agency was complained about. And in 2026 so far, 26 complaints have been filed. These include 7 within your authority, 15 outside of your authority, and 4 regarding other agencies. Year to date, that's a total of 107 complaints. These include 32 within your authority, 57 outside of your authority, 17 regarding other agencies, and that 1 unknown complaint from 2025. So looking back again at 2024, again, 16 complaints fell within your authority to direct me to investigate. 7 of those alleged excessive force, 3 alleged discrimination, 3 alleged dishonesty, 1 alleged sexual assault, and 2 alleged an unlawful arrest or unlawful search. And that concludes this presentation.
Thank you. We'll go 3 minutes for questions. Commissioner Gronsky?
No, no questions right now.
Thank you. Commissioner Vega?
This is a receive and file, right? Because technically, we can't really do anything about these complaints. We can't.
Right, these are past the 1-year deadline.
Okay, this is just kind of more for information purposes only.
Yes, yes. The commission requested that I just provide an overview of the numbers from 2024, and here you have it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Syed?
No questions, but thank you for putting this together. Thank you all.
Commissioner Pereira?
Thank you, Director Morse, for bringing. This is the item that I brought to the commission. I think that I wanted to make sure that in the spirit of transparency, that this was provided to the public in terms of the number of complaints that have been submitted to the commission, particularly in the period of 2024 when we didn't have an oversight director. I was actually at a neighborhood association meeting last night, Henninger Park, and a lot of questions came up from residents. So we had a good number of residents that attended, and I spoke a little bit about what the commission, what we do, and I had a lot of questions. And one of the main questions was like, how many complaints have you actually received? And I was like, I can't tell you that because it's not public. And I think that residents were very curious about the number of complaints that we have received, and also the number of complaints that the commission, not AI, but the commission did not get to review or consider taking action or not based on their merits. And so I think that is something that really concerns. I do want to note, and again, I think at the beginning my intention was to have the commission consider do an audit of the findings of these investigations, particularly in 2024. I think most of the data that I requested from my commission requested item, I'm looking at it right now, is actually being provided here, so I appreciate it. But I do want to note that the first year that when we had the portal open in 2024, we had the most number of complaints that we had received that unfortunately the commission didn't get to discuss. And we had also the most number so far of complaints that did fall under the Police Oversight Commission's authority. And so I think that that is, again, unfortunately, that as the commission, we didn't get to do that, not because of the commission, not because of the director. So thank you, Director Morse, for providing this information. And that's all.
Thank you. I also agree that it's unfortunate we didn't have the opportunity to review those complaints. I realize that's no fault of the director. Kind of resides with the city council. And it's unfortunate that we weren't allowed to see complaints when the commission was actually seated rather than having to wait for the seating of a director. I think that's rather unfortunate. But again, I appreciate, I think it was important to get this data out for the sake of transparency, and that is my final comment.
If I could add, it would be nice, I guess we're not allowed to give suggestions, but I'm just thinking out loud. In the spirit of transparency, it would be great if in our portal or website that we track year by year the number of complaints, just so that we have something to reference to in case people ask us in the future. We can say, well, here's a link. You can see how many complaints we received year to year. And I don't know if, I guess we can break it down in this way as the way it was broken down in page 6. I think that would be nice.
Thank you, Commissioner Vega. Another complaint that I heard a lot from the residents last night was, why is it so hard to find information on do you even have a tab, a commissioner tab? And I was like, yeah, and I told them, you go here in the city, you click this tab, and then you click the other tab, and you click other tab, and you find information. So one of the questions was like, yeah, can it be more accessible? The data that the commission does discuss, can it be more accessible? And I know that it lives somewhere in the website, but the residents are saying, hey, we don't have the time.
I'll echo that. I'm also chair of our neighborhood association, and even though we do have the My Santa Ana app, yeah, the information's there if you know where to look. And that's what I tell everybody, it's there, just like the budget. Everything's there if you know how to find it. So I agree with that. I agree with both of these commissioners on that. It would be nice if there was a little simpler way to find information. I don't know if we could have an information tab someplace within the My Santa Ana app in particular, because I think most people have that and it's on their phone. So yeah, that's I agree with that. Information is there, difficult to access. In fact, this is a little anecdote. We met with some city employees, myself and the vice chair of our neighborhood association, and the person we met with had trouble finding the information. This is a city employee, had trouble finding information on the website. So that gives you a little insight as to how difficult it can be. So just a suggestion for somebody here, might want to look into that. Okay, any other further questions or anything? Okay, can I get a motion?
I'd like to ask a question here. Listening to the rest of you made me remember what I wanted to ask when I came here tonight. These cases that we have been reading and deciding on and giving our opinion and our suggestion to them, do we ever get to find out exactly what happened to them? How did they end finally?
The cases from 2024?
Any of them that we have done so far. You know, in other words, as we give our opinion in there to help out what to do with this case, such as those tonight.
You're speaking about closed session items? You're speaking about the closed session items?
Yes.
I think we should save related questions for the next closed session. If you have questions about closed session items, that should be discussed in closed session.
I'll put that in my calendar. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, can we get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
What's the motion?
To receive and file, right?
The
Yeah.
data presentation, we're going to mention that it's legit. That's what it's asking for here.
You wanted a motion, so I gave you one.
I know that.
All right, let's
I'm
throw in whatever
just
we want.
following what
The
they're
motion's
telling
so-
me to do. It says, hearing no further questions, discussion, is there a motion and a second? And this is on the complaint data presentation.
Let's release all the
I
files.
guess it's a file, to your point, right? Is that what we need to do? So we need to have a motion to have this filed as presented,
So I guess
correct?
the motion is to file it.
That's correct.
I'll make a motion to file it.
Thank you. Can I get a second on that?
I second it.
Thank you. Madam Secretary.
A motion by Commissioner Said, seconded by Commissioner Goronsky, to receive and file 2024 complaint data presentation. Commissioner Goronsky? Commissioner Perea?
Yes.
Commissioner Said?
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Vega?
Yes.
Chair Carpenter?
Yes.
The vote is 5 ayes, no nays, with Commissioner Mejia and Vice Chair Castillo-Lawton absent.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, and that is the end of the business calendar. Now we get to staff comments. Deputy City Manager, do you have any closing comments?
Thank you. It's very exciting to see policy moving forward and want to continue this rhythm that we have. So I encourage you to reach out to our office whenever you come up with ideas that you might be interested in covering at the meeting. Also, just as a quick reminder, Memorial Day is coming up, and Memorial Day, we will have a flag raising ceremony at Memorial Park at 9 a.m. So we'd love to have you there.
Thank you. Oversight Director?
Wanted to thank DJ, our commission analyst. He's the one that actually compiled the data from 2024. I just presented it. So thanks, DJ, for doing the legwork on that.
Thank you. Deputy,
No, if I can add a comment to
Deputy Chief of Police, yes, you have any comments?
Commissioner's Vega comment about the request of how many complaints. I can tell you that currently the department actually posts that online. I don't believe that it breaks it down by which ones were received by the POC and which ones were received by the department, but that's something that we can take a look into, but all complaints are posted every month, how many citizen complaints we have.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I skipped the Assistant City Attorney.
No, Mr. Chair, no comment. Thank you for having me here today. Jonathan will be back for the next meeting.
All right, thank you. All righty. Now, final comments from commission members. Commissioner Gronsky,
No.
Commissioner Vega.
Thank you, staff. Thank you, commissioners. It's a good meeting. That's it.
Commissioner Syed.
Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for the cookies. And I hope you all have a good Memorial Weekend too. Thank you.
Commissioner Pereira.
No comments.
All righty. Yeah, again, thank you. That was, I like the edits. I like the way it's put together, and I appreciate the effort on this. I, again, echo the importance of having those previous complaint data. And I don't know who to talk to in the city about improving our website, but it needs improvement. And I've, again, from the public, received multiple concerns. I won't use the word complaint because that gets to be upsetting for some people, but concerns about the website. But again, thank you, everybody. Again, I think there's good edits on that, and I agree with the city manager office that it's good to be moving forward. Again, thank you, everybody. And we'll call it at 7:30. Oh, sorry, I got to tell you when the next one's coming. My apologies, folks. I was getting anxious. All righty, the next Police Oversight Commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 11, 2026, in the council chambers at 5 p.m. I hereby adjourn the meeting at 7:30 p.m.